So I thought we'd practice, I forget what they call them, but I'll give you a quick demo. So the ones where we kind of sit in the trapeze and then go backwards, but go upside down and hang with your arms. So it kind of looks like this with the middle handles. You lean back and then you kick your feet up in the air. And can you see how like my lower back, if I can turn to the side, my lower back is still like snug in the trapeze, even if I let my upper body go, right? And then you can lift your feet up a little bit and pull your hips up out of the trapeze.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have to, but that's sort of like, we can go kind of step by step to get into that. And then we can gently twist backwards. So I thought we'd play around with some of that. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah, is that okay for you, you think?
Yeah. And if
Cool.
it's not, then I won't do it.
Awesome. So the whole, like, there's steps, right? So you can go as far as you want and not go too far. So I thought we'd play a bit with that today, as well as other things. I mean, that's not going to take us a whole hour to play around with that, or we won't have any arms. It'll be jello. So that's kind of, I was thinking that. And then when you're upside down, you can do like legs open and like straddle pose and stuff. I can give you some more demos when we get to that point. That's the preview for class tonight.
I like it.
Yeah, and then we'll make sure there's some good hip openers too. All right, let's get into it. Give me a quick safety check.
Yes.
Carabiners and ropes all in the right spot. Can you guys hear the music? I've got it on, but it's kind of quiet.
I don't hear it yet. Oh yeah, now I hear it.
There it is. Sarah, I don't know if you'll ever hear it. Do you actually hear it?
You're like in the background, like a little.
Just some club beat in the background. That's right. It's there. All right, let's start with a couple of those dynamic lunges. We'll do some side-to-side stretches. So I'll grab high handles and then take big, slow steps forward. The right leg, stretching through the back hip flexor, chest, underarm, maybe feels okay in your neck. Drop your head backwards. That doesn't feel okay, don't do it. Good. So we'll stay for like 2, maybe 3 breaths on each leg, and then just kind of switching. Yeah, good. Nice slow step forward. Warming up a bit, squeezing through the hands. So that upside down kind of twist thing takes a lot of forearm strength. So we're going to do just a little bit of like negative pull-ups to prep, to kind of feel the areas where the muscles that you're going to need for that. But we won't do too much of that first. I don't want to burn out the muscles before we have an opportunity to get where we want to go. So that's the plan. So we'll start there, so negative pull-ups, and then we'll get upside down for a little while. And then we'll go upside down again. What's the upside down time today? Good. Okay, so it's even out. I've got one more on my left leg. Good. You need a few more moments to do the other side. Cool, come on up. Give it a little shake out, roll up the wrist a few times. Okay, so and let's play just a little bit more with that dynamic crescent lunge to get into the hamstrings a bit more. So if you come back to right where we were and take that step forward with the right leg. Now, instead of bending the right knee, straighten through both legs. So it sort of feels like a long pyramid pose. Really, you'll feel the back calf a whole lot. Do you guys find that? Yeah. And then make sure you're kind of twisting through the hips a bit so that they're even. What'll happen is this left hip will open up. Just kind of keep it open or facing forward, I guess. And then just a micro bend in the front knee. You're just going slightly less than locking the leg. So it should be pretty darn straight, but not quite. Woo! All right, let's bend the knee. We'll step back. We'll take one more step forward with left leg here. We'll do that on this side. So long stance, heels down, hips forward, maybe a little hinge at the hip, pressing the heel down. Nice. That's a good stretch. Let's circle through the head a few times. Okay, reverse it. Okay, back to center, a little bend in the left knee. We'll come back, and then we'll bend the knees. Let's go side to side. So we'll drop the knees to the right, stretching the arms to the left. We're trying to get your limbs as straight as possible. And a couple breaths on each side. You can hold a little longer if you like, or you can move a little bit more side to side. Good kitty. We get a kitty friend tonight. Are you gonna hang out with us? He's deciding. He'll probably sit just off camera. Yeah, exactly.
Got some kind of magic.
That sounds like a cat, right?
Without even understanding what a camera is, he'll know how to avoid it.
Exactly. Yeah, just close enough. You can't quite touch him. You can enjoy him, but he's lurking in the background. Such a little creep. Okay. All right, let's get into a couple of those negative pull-ups. So a couple reminders. Shoulder blades are going to squeeze back and down your back for that retraction. So shoulder blades will squeeze together and down. Belly button up and in. You want a lot of engagement through the core to help with the lower spine as well. And then make sure that head stays back over the spine. So if you're going to lead with anything, lead with your chest. Ready? Let's go for 5. We'll take a big breath in. On the exhale, squeeze, jump, and then slow lower down. Woo! Quivery. That's it. So feel free to find your own pace and timing. Good. Just jumping up and down. And before you jump each time, you want to reset shoulders, belly button, head. Good. So as you get to the bottom next time, pause for just a second. So as you lower down, so when your arms are long and straight, that's the same feeling you're going to have, except your body, your feet will be on the ceiling, but your arms straight like this. You want to kind of squeeze the shoulder blades together, pull the head back and the belly button up and in, and get the feel for that's where we're going. Good. Do I have one more? I think I have one more.
Yeah, I have one more.
Yeah. So feel that as you're doing that one more, squeeze the shoulder blades, belly button, head, and then as you lower down, feel how you keep squeezing the shoulder blades together as you get right to the bottom there. That's that strength and, the muscles around the shoulder blades pulling in to help support the body so we can do silly things with our shoulders. Good job. Let's meet upside down. We'll get some nice good stretching through the lower spine. That was enough. I don't need the sweatshirt anymore. Sarah, I don't know if I can say the same for you though, huh? A little chilly there still.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. So we'll meet upside down for Jackson, banana pose, and an arrow pose. Good. Nice. And then as you come upside down, we'll take the first few moments here just to do whatever intuitively feels right. Maybe it's just kind of pausing and resting and hanging. Maybe there's a particular pose that sounds good. I always love to turn my head a little bit side to side, see how much I can move my head. Also how weird it sounds when little crunchy things happen upside down, because it feels funny in my ears when I hear it. Woo. All right, let's take a good banana pose first tonight. So hands under the shoulders, we'll walk it forward. So walk as far as you can, glue your hands to the ground, and then let that trapeze pull your hips backwards, getting the traction through your lower back, maybe in your belly. Okay, so then here, let's take a moment again and turn the head side to side a few times. Good, and we'll change the hand. So right hand to where left hand is. Left hand comes up to the thigh, or maybe the middle handle, or maybe you wrap around the long handle. And then bring your gaze towards the left. So you're gazing back over the left shoulder. Good, a couple of big breaths in and out. Just feeling that left, or the right side of the rib cage expanding as you breathe in and out. Good, do that one more time. Big breath in and back out. Nice, let's change hands. So we'll walk back to center first. See if you can get your hands just a little bit farther forward. And then we'll change and go to the other side. So left hand goes to where right hand was. Right hand comes up. Good, get a tight grip to whatever you're holding on to. And then start to twist towards the right. So it's kind of interesting to notice how it feels a little bit different from this side than the other side. Keeping your head relaxed as you can as you gently twist. And twisting more with the shoulders, right? Kind of working that twist in the thoracic spine. Good, we'll take one more big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Nice, right hand comes back down. We'll walk back to center. We'll pause there just for another breath. In. Good, and out. Nice, letting your hands kind of slide back under the shoulders. We'll take an arrow pose. So hands behind the back, interlace the fingers and let your hands fall towards the floor. And gently stretching to the shoulders. Yeah, and this one always feels so good to turn the head right to left a few times. You might even add a little bit of twist through the torso. So maybe you gaze to the right, but your hands go to the left. Good, changing sides. Nice, and then back to center, and we'll gently make our way back up to a seat. Take your time as you come on out. And as always, when you get up, take a few moments to let things settle. Don't feel like you need to get up right away or anything like that. Good. In fact, we'll take a couple of those supported hangs here. So sit in, pull the trapeze forward. Stop moving. There we go. Good, so we'll practice finding those muscles again as we do the supported hang. It's the same thing, except the elbows will be bent this time. So hands up high, grab those high handles. Shoulder blades squeeze together, belly button up and in, head back over the spine. So here we'll practice pulling the shoulder blades back and down and lifting. Yeah, so you can unweight a bit from the main sling. Keeping the shoulders back and down, head over the spine. Feeling that strength through the upper body. Good, take another breath in. On the exhale, release and slump a bit. Yeah. We'll take another set in just a moment, but take a little bit of movement, a couple of breaths. Good. All right, let's set up to do one more here. Grabbing onto high handles, belly button in, shoulder blades back and down, head up, breathe in, exhale to lift. Yeah, squeezing everything in. Good. Feeling it right around the shoulder blades. All the muscles working, engaging. Good. Take another breath in. On the exhale, we'll slump and let go. Okay, so let's take long handles. We'll put feet in the long handles here, and then we'll reach forward for a nice big forward fold, really slumping. And that's it. Breathing in and breathing back out. Good. We'll gently rise back up. We're gonna make our way back upside down for back extensions. Let me give you a quick demo before you head upside down. So it's sort of like the crunches that we do, but we're just gonna do the second half where we extend. So we'll still take hands behind the head. So instead of crunching up, we're gonna really focus on crunching backwards. And what you should feel is the mid to lower spine. You should feel engagement there. So again, I'm kind of working towards the muscles that we'll need for kicking the legs up to head in our twist in a few moments. So make your way back upside down. That's it. Nice. And then when you feel ready to do so, take your hands behind your head. Take a breath in. And then on the exhale, we'll extend like you're trying to touch your shoulder blades to your feet. Good. And then inhale, coming back to like neutral spine. And then exhale and extend. Good. So keep going like that. We'll take about 30 seconds here to lift and lower. So you should feel some work happening in the front of the hips as well as you extend backwards. I'm just going to change the center of gravity a little bit. Should feel like you're working. As always, you take it to whatever extent feels right for you. It can be pretty tiring through the glutes and the lower spine. Nice. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Nice job, everybody. We'll come on back up. Taking a moment here. Good. Kind of slumping, breathing in. And breathing back out. Good. You guys feeling good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I thought I'd give you a backwards view of where we're going to go for the upside down and the twist, and that kind of helps to show the mechanics a little bit more. So again, we'll make your way back almost as if you're going to go all the way back, but instead of grabbing the long handles, this time you're going to grab the middle handles. So I'm going to grab the middle handles and pull them into my sides. And here's where you're going to gently lower yourself back. You can always pull your knees into your chest here if this lowering backwards feels like too much on the back. And then once you're here, right, you can see that the top part of the mainspring is still right over my pelvis, and I'm very snug, right? I don't need my arms necessarily here. But in a moment, I'll kind of push my hips forward, and that'll push me out. So knees will stay bent. So if this feels like maybe this is where you want to, sort of work with today, you could go from like almost like a sit-up, kind of lifting up, lowering back, practice engaging through the shoulders. You'll feel that. So that's probably first step here. You want to go more than that. With the hips still kind of plugged into the mainspring, you can point your toes up to the ceiling. And then you're almost in the dip from here. You could play around with coming up, lowering down, and then kicking the feet up, anywhere along there. And then from there, this is where you really want to snug the shoulders in, head back, belly button up and in, and you'll kick your toes up and push your hips forward. And then once you're free from the trapeze, you could play around with your legs a little bit, so forward and back. So you open up, and then we'll pull knees to chest, gently twisting forward. Woo! And then you can lower down, let go. My arms feel like Jello now. So any of that feels right for you, right? Everyone's in their own spot. So you can play around with that for a little bit. If you have questions, kind of workshop time. So take your time. So we'll start, you want to pull that main sling, get it nice and snug, like right above the pelvis here. You got a big bulk of fabric, and that's what you're going to feel is sort of like, almost like your seatbelt, right? Just kind of holding you in. Yeah, and then grab the middle handle and then lower back. Exactly, and you can play around with knees stay bent, maybe knees up. If you get the legs straight, you want to point the toes up towards the ceiling and feel like the legs are really strong. You could go a few times, lifting and lowering. Just pay attention to if your arms feel like they're getting fatigued. If you do want to go all the way back, don't spend too long making your arms fatigued. That's what I'm trying to say. Good. Yeah, and then once you're there, you can play around with moving the legs a bit. Ooh. So this is, Christine, remember when we were trying to do the jump turns?
Yeah.
I feel like this is like a good middle spot.
Yeah.
To be practicing that. So you can really get the feeling of going upside down in the body position that you're trying to be in.
Yeah.
If you feel up to it, if you want to give it a shot, you could come out and try that. Now that you've sort of got muscle memory at the moment, it's essentially, it's the negative pull up. The flip backwards is that tough part, and then you kick the legs up. So if we want to play around with that, we can spend a few moments there as well. So if you want that, shoulders together, belly in, head back. You got to pull your knees up into your chest as you jump, and then push your shoulders back really fast, and then legs straight to the ceiling. So here's a quick demo. So knees up, shoulders back. See how I straighten my elbows? So right away, that helps to drop the shoulders. And then feet up. And then you can spin forward or backwards to get back down. I hope those explanations are helpful. Easier said than done, I know. Took me quite a while to get that one down. But you know, half the fun's just learning, right? Yeah, dude, that's it. There we go. And then whenever you're done, good job. Woohoo! Give your arms a little shake out. Let's stretch the forearms a bit, because that was a lot on the forearm. Yeah, we'll come down on the hands and knees, and we'll put palms to the floor. Spread the fingers open nice and wide, and then push the palms down. Good, pressing into each one of the knuckles. Good. And then make it a challenge, but do be, conscious that it is possible to go too far in the wrist. So you definitely want to feel a stretch, but don't push it. Instead, adding the pressure by pressing into each one of the knuckles on the palm, that's going to get you more than trying to lean way backwards. Good, that's it. Take a breath in. And then exhale, let that go. And maybe flip your hands the other way, or circle, or shake. I like to flip it the other way and then wiggle my fingers. That feels kind of funny. Ooh. Good. Couple of circles. All right, so if your forearms are jello tomorrow, that's what did it. When you're wondering. Good. Let's make our way to a downward dog from here. So we'll come behind your trapeze. We'll put that main sling right around your hip point. and then lean forward over it. We'll get some upside down time in a different way. Good. So maybe coming up to tippy toes, and then hinging forward, getting that trapeze nice and locked in the hip points, and then hands to floor, legs back. Nice. And then you can have as much weight in your hands and your feet as you like. So if you walk a little bit forward, you'll have a little bit more in the hands and feet. If you start to walk backward, the feet might start to kind of pick up off the floor, and you'll have a bit more pressure in the hips. So that kind of helps to find a balance there. Wherever your hips want you to be today, sometimes it's different, right? And let's shake the head out. Good. And if you're way far back, walk forward just a little bit. And let's take a twist. We'll take right hand to the outside of the left leg. So sort of on the shin here on the left side. You could stay there. If it feels okay to do so, you could pick your right leg up. It's quite a bit of extra pressure in the hip, so if that doesn't sound good, then feel free to skip that. Take a breath in. On the exhale, we'll come back to down dog, legs down, untwisting. Good, and we'll take it to the other side. So left hand to the outside of the right leg, pressing firmly into the right palm. You stay there, maybe left leg lift. Okay, take a breath in. And the exhale, come back to down dog again. Good. And then here, let's walk your feet even farther forward so they feel like they come underneath your hips. And then we'll lean into a deep forward fold. You might have to bend your knees a little bit to still get the mainspring to pull your weight. And then see if you can really let go through the upper body. So mostly you'll feel a big stretch through the lower to mid part of the spine here. You could grab for opposite elbows or biceps, maybe sway side to side or back and forth. And then we'll take an option for embryo. That's where we end up putting all of the weight in the hip points. If that doesn't sound like your jam tonight, feel free to stay here. If you want to play around with embryo, we'll walk your feet back, kind of coming back to down dog, and then letting the feet come all the way up off the floor, just slightly sliding the hips forward so your hips come on top of the shoulders. Good. So I always cross my ankles here and pull my knees into my chest. And then from there, hands can either stay on the floor or maybe your hands come up around the legs. That's a whole level of intensity. So you choose how much of this you want. See if wherever you are, you can really feel your neck stretching. You get a little bit more space away from the shoulders. Good, let's take a breath in and a breath back out as we gently lower feet back down to the floor. So walking forward once again to that forward fold. And then when your feet are underneath you, you'll go a little bend in the knees and gently come all the way back up to standing. So go nice and slow as you come up, letting the blood come back down. Nice. And then we'll pull that trapeze behind you. Give your shoulders a little shake, a couple of rolls. Grab yourself a quick sip of water. Whew. And then psych yourself up for some planks. How's that sound? Sounds really different than what we just did. So change your mindset. I'm gonna get a quick stopwatch going. Okay. We're gonna do planks with your feet in the handles. So we'll move the black clips up, the black handles away. And then we'll lower down. I like that twist method. What's that? Oh, did somebody say? Maybe nobody said anything. All right, so I like the twist method. So I'm gonna go right foot into left, and then left foot on top. And then you'll twist away from the top leg. So if my left leg's on top, so you're gonna twist towards the left leg. My twist will go to the left. Good. Mine's long enough that I can put my knees on the floor. If yours isn't, it's a little less comfortable to pause here. So I'll get going. We're gonna go plank with scissors, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll go plank Spider-Man planks, which I'll show you in a sec. So start with hands underneath the shoulders, belly button up and in, lift the hips up, let the feet go behind you. We're gonna go for 30 seconds. So scissors, plank, so open the legs up, and then close. So like your legs are a fan or something. Opening and closing. Good. Keep pressing into the ground. Your shoulders should feel like they're rock solid, slightly rounded up. Like they're right between your shoulder blades, pressing towards the ceiling. That's it. Here for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bend your knees, take a little break. If you gotta come out, that's okay. We'll work on breathing. Good. Let me give you a quick demo of the Spider-Man planks before we come in. So you'll come back to that high plank, and then you'll pull your knee up and try to tap it to your elbow. So we'll alternate legs. We'll go right leg in and left leg in. Sound good? Awesome. Ready? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Good. So leg goes out and around. Knee to elbow. I don't know why they call them Spider-Man. They are memorable. Oh, these ones are hard. We got 10 seconds right here. Slow it down if you need to. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Drop it down. Come on out. Let's take a child's pose. Knees open, toes touch. Right forward and breathe. Thank goodness for the stopwatch. Can you imagine if I did that for a minute and thought it was 30 seconds? It's all in service of you guys that I use my time on. Good. Let's take a thread the needle while we're down here. So we'll just gently slide left arm underneath the chest. Maybe right hand stays here, especially if your neck is feeling any sensitivity at all. Maybe it walks forward. Yeah, let's change sides. Let's take left arm forward. Right arm slides underneath you. Okay, let's take right arm forward again. And breathe in and back out. Nice. And then on the floor, we're gonna roll onto our back and set up for a couple of different bridge poses. So we'll start with normal bridge with your hands in the handles, and then we'll put feet in the handles for suspension bridge after that. So put the black handles back down so you've got something to grab onto. And then you'll roll down so that your hips are underneath the main sling. And you're gonna walk your heels in as far as you can, almost till they're touching your glutes. And then take your hands to the long handles. Now this is important. We wanna try not to have any of your cervical spine touching the ground. So shimmy your shoulder blades underneath you so they're practically touching behind your back, and it should give you a little cushion to push onto. And then the back of your head gently presses into the ground. Good. So we got shoulder blades tucked underneath you, kind of pulling in, almost like they're still doing that pulling in and down action, like when we do our negative pull-ups. A little pressure into the back of the head, pull belly button up and in, take a breath in. On the exhale, put a little weight in your hands and then press your hips up. Good. So we're gonna go up and down a few times. We'll inhale as we lower. As you exhale, you press into the heels and press up the hips as high as you can. Good. So keep going, breathing in and then exhaling, pressing up. Yeah, and then let the long handles allow you to get the back bend a little bit deeper, especially in the thoracic part of the spine. So see if you can lift your rib cage a little bit higher up towards the ceiling and then slightly towards your head. Good. Let's do 3 more here. So squeezing the shoulder blades back and down, using the biceps to help pull the ribs off the floor just a little bit more. Okay, last one. Get up and down. Okay, take a little break here. We'll put your hips on the floor and let your knees bend side to side. We're gonna take another variation of that and then we'll head into those suspension bridges. Good, so walk your feet back in, knees up towards the ceiling, and then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So that should look like a figure 4 stretch from like a pigeon on your back. And we're gonna do bridges with your leg up. It's gonna be a bit harder for the left glute. Let's give it a try. We'll go for 6 on each side. So breathe in, press into the shoulders, use your arms as much as you need to, and then press the hips up and down. Good. So using your biceps to help lift the ribs off the floor even higher, to keeping the shoulder blades pressing down, back of the head into the mat, so that cervical spine stays nice and neutral. Good, we got 2 more. Lifting up and down, last one, lift up. Good, and down. Okay, so we'll take a moment to rest in between. Maybe take those windshield wipers again, move side to side a few times. Good. And we'll take knees back to center. Left ankle crosses over right side this time. Shoulder blades still shimmied underneath you, back of the head on the floor. Take a breath in. On the exhale, press into right heel, lift your hips up. Good, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. That's it. Keep going. Squeeze into the biceps, hips up high. That's it. 3 more. Lift up and down. Okay, last one. Lifting up. Woo. And down. So we'll take feet to the floor, knees side to side. All right, let's set up here for our suspension bridges. So just move the black handles out of the way. We'll put right heel and the right handle, left heel and the left. Good, making a little hammock for your heel. Woo. We'll take a moment once your feet get in to let your legs kind of open and separate. Maybe move, bending the knees a couple times. You're finding a couple of circles. Moving through the hip joint. Good. All right, let's set up for suspension bridges. So legs straight out in front of you. I think even more than the last one, super important here, to get the shoulder blades underneath you. We're gonna have quite a bit of weight moving up into the shoulder area. Palms on the floor. You can use your arms, you can even press the backs of like your triceps into the floor to help give you a little bit of lift, keeping that cervical spine nice and neutral. Let's try it. So take a breath in. On the exhale, press the shoulders down and then lift the hips up. Good. So you are like a straight board, like a plank with your arms down. Good. So if we're gonna go 3 sets for the first one, just hold it for about 30 seconds here. Keeping your gaze neutral towards the ceiling. Keep pressing the heels down. You're gonna feel the backs of your legs firing like crazy. Calves, hamstrings, glutes, lower back. This is an awesome exercise for the posterior chain of the body. So good. That's it. We got about 5 more seconds here. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we'll slowly lower hips down. Maybe bend the knees a few times. Maybe circle again if that feels good. Good. All right. Second set, we'll take scissors just like we did in plank. We'll go legs open and close. So let's start by streaming the shoulders under you, palms to the floor. Take a breath in. On the exhale, hips up, and then legs open and close. Good. Remember, you can utilize pressing the triceps down, pressing your palms down. Breathing, also important. Keep going. Nice. We're almost there. We got about 10 seconds left. Open and close. That's it. Hips stay lifted. Keep pressing the heels down. We got 3, 2, and we're gonna go lower. Find a little movement. Last set, we'll pull knees into chest, opposite leg at a time. We'll kind of kick out with the other like you're running. We'll start with legs out, shoulders underneath you. Take a breath in. On the exhale, press into the shoulders with the hips up. Good. And then bend your right knee, pull it into your chest, and then switch legs. This one's probably the most challenging. So take your time. Go in slow and controlled, keeping the hips up, chest up, triceps pressing down. Woo! 10 seconds to go. That's it. Hips stay lifted, gaze is neutral to the ceiling for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lower down. We'll hug knees into your chest. Good. And we'll grab onto the handles and use that to help lift upper body up. We're going to stay on the floor here. We'll take a straddle pose. The legs open wide. Move those handles back down. The black handles on the long handles back down. And then we'll use that to help us fold forward. Nice. We're looking for inner thighs and hamstrings. Good. So arms can reach forward. Arms could also come behind you. And you can lean forward and kind of get a stretch through the shoulders as well. So you could play with that. You could move your arms from front to back, sort of like you're making snow angels. Next time your arms are forward, hold them forward, and then turn towards your right leg. You're gonna get a stretch to your left oblique, getting into the left shoulder, forehead towards the knee, still pressing down through the hamstrings and the inner thighs. Good, let's go to the left side. So we'll come through center, all the way over to the left. Yeah, from that right oblique. Forehead towards the knee. Good, coming back to center one more time. Let's take your hands together, bend your elbows, and then let your head fall between your biceps. Good. So gently let go. Make your way up to standing. So nice and slow. Maybe using your hands to help the legs bend. Take a moment, windshield wiper, before we get up, just to make sure we got the blood flowing through the legs. Good, and then as you're ready, make your way back up to standing. Woo. Good, and let's get a nice deep pigeon pose here. We'll come to the back of your trapeze, making sure those black clips are pulled nice and far down. Let's go left side first. We always go right side first. It's good to switch that up sometimes. So pull left foot in, pull that trapeze around the left knee. And then remember, you want it to be really skinny, kind of just right around the arch of the left foot. And then make sure that the main sling is pulled enough above the knee here that it's not going to flip forward on you. Yeah, and then trying to get the shin close to parallel. You know, don't need to be perfect about it or anything. And then feel free to take whatever variation you like. You could stay here, just kind of lean into it, lean forward. You could also push the hips forward. That's going to get you a little bit more intensity. Coming up into the ball of the foot, pushing the hips forward and kind of leaning forward. So anything around there. Okay, let's take a few more circles for the head and the neck. You'll make your way back into right leg. We'll squeeze the legs out here. Give left knee a couple of circles. Woo! Don't get stuck in the trapeze though.
It's a trap.
Yeah, that was a little easier than it should be. We'll head over to right side when you're ready. And we're making sure that shin's close-ish to parallel. Main sling's just around the arch of the foot and just past the knee. Okay, if you like those circles, You keep going with those. Slow breath. Just relax. Your shoulders are relaxed on your back and not pulled up towards your ears here. And we'll bring weight back onto left leg, but instead of taking right leg all the way out, take just your foot out so the right shin is still in the trapeze, and we're going to push it forward. So knee is bent, yep. And main sling kind of around the shin, and you'll push your hips forward, looking for a hip flexor stretch on that opposite side. Do you guys find it? Is that feeling good? Okay, good. Now you might have to scooch a little side to side, kind of sway, grabbing onto the main sling. It's easy to transfer the weight a little bit, yeah. And then see where that stretch happens for you. Kitty's back.
This is like a kitty-friendly pose.
He's ready. Good, let's come out on the right leg. We'll put left shin in. And then hip forward. So that more on this side. Good. Now let's come on out and we'll make our way into a butterfly here. So we'll take flat clips up nice and high, fanning out through the main sling a bit. Make sure it's not too twisted. We'll step one leg through, fan that trapeze out, and then sit back. Okay, get yourself pretty even. There we go. And then push forward with your hands, pressing your shoulders into the back of the main sling there, and then pull one leg up, and then the other. Feet together. Nice. And then make sure that your back is happy. Sometimes I slide really far forward when I come in. So if you grab onto the main sling in front of you, pull forward, push your feet in, slide your hips back. If you don't like that big bend in the lower back, you can stick it out. Yeah, good. Whew. All right, we have made it. Well done, you guys. Lots of arm stuff today. Well, you're not too jello-y. You still run your errands and all the other things you got to do tonight, pick up kids. Let's take the last few moments here just to breathe and be swaying a little bit, feeling that weightless kind of floaty feeling. Let's take another breath in. Just a slow exhale back out. And taking a moment to cultivate gratitude, first for yourself, for all the things you're able to do, amazing things your body can do. And then let's send that gratitude out to someone, some being, person, animal, I don't know, whatever else there could be. Just sending it out to whatever feels right. Passing it along. All right, you guys. The light in me honors, bows, and surrenders to the light within each of you. Namaste.